Hello YouTubies, this is Freddy Hotes and thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm going to talk about a topic that most people probably don't know too much about, and it's cheating. And it's cheating in a game actually that's considered to be a sport, and it is sort of a sport, it's a mind sport. My problem with this is that there has been some stories about people cheating in chess. Now, me being a fantastic player of the ages, whatever. I haven't played for a long time, by the way, but me being somebody who is a sort of hobby player and understanding what it's like to play in competition, I sort of have some strong opinions about this, because, you know, no matter what level you are in chess, marathon running, sports, football, whatever, you get your reward for the amount of time you put in and about the amount of efforts, and you get your true strength shown to you. So if you have you know, worked very hard in marathon training, even if somebody takes steroids and they win the race, it still doesn't take away from the time that you may have got on the 3 hours. You know, say I got 2 hours and 15 minutes, and people say, well done. It doesn't take away. But with chess, you're on a one-to-one basis where your worth, your reward is based on the results of how well you do against your opponent. And if you meet an opponent who has decided that they don't want to play by the rules, that they want to use outside help, and they don't want to put any work in, they could do absolutely nothing but work out a tactic in which they could beat everybody, well, almost everybody, because even with computers, you know, even the major players, like I don't know, like the 140s above, may actually be able to beat a computer sometimes, but usually it'll work. And when they're using this outside help, they will take away something from that player, because that player's put the time and effort in. Even an average club player has put in so many hours of work to get there from the beginner. All right, even if their talent hasn't allowed them to go any further, they've still put effort and time and effort into that. So they should have a true rating that reflects their true strength and the fact that they have worked their ass off to get that. So, you know, you're playing a 4-hour game with somebody. You deserve your reward for that, in a way. And you might not win every game, but as long as nobody's cheating, it doesn't matter, because it sort of equals itself in the end, and it levels itself out. The problem is, when somebody's cheating, they can start off with a very low grade, and they can start beating players with a higher grade. Even average club players who might be higher than them, and they bring that player downwards. Alright, so all the effort they put in, their grade goes down because somebody else under them has cheated, and these guys move quickly through the ranks to meet the Grandmasters. And as a 15 ELO player that recently beat a Grandmaster 2600, that there was a problem. People started to get suspicious, because this has happened before, by the way, and somebody just decided to leave chess. And this guy was actually discovered. This 15 ELO player was discovered. When I say 1500 ELO, I mean somebody who's just below average club player, right? And he was discovered beating this one of the best players in the country, and he had mobile phones strapped to his ankles, and there's something strapped around his chest to determine the moves that he was going to play on the chessboard. Alright? And people say, oh, that's hilarious or whatever. Well, I come from a different angle here, because I think that's actually, there's something so dishonest about it. It's actually cheating the other person out of the employment, basically. It's cheating. It's a disgusting tactic. I mean, it's not like killing somebody, but you're stealing from that individual. It's the same as theft. It's the same as fraud. And you know, I mean, these grandmasters and these even average club players or even weak players have spent a tiny fortune to get to these hotels where they stay, to play these matches because they want the excitement of playing a tournament that they may have a chance of winning sometimes. You know, you never know if you play well. And the Grandmasters are played for the hotels and the fees to go into the competition like everybody else, and the travelling expenses. And then somebody cheats so that they cannot win. There's something not quite right there. Now, I think that takes away a person's. I mean, the person's being robbed blinder. You know, they're being robbed. They're being cheated out of all that money, basically. You know, if you're paying for that to just have the right to play in a competition because you love the game, and then somebody destroys it for you by cheating their way up, even as an average club player, as some of those people are that guy was meeting, who he beat, you've been cheated out of money. You've had something cheated out your back pocket by somebody who's got there unfairly, and not only that, but they've damaged how much work you put into the game of chess, because now not only have you lost money in regards to what you could have won if you had played somebody who had an honest grade and who was playing honestly, but you've lost your sort of achievement. So it's like getting somebody, you know, sticking a 50-minute penalty onto a marathon race and saying, yeah, we're sticking that on because we miscounted it or something. You know, somebody's cheated and put your timing wrong or something, and say, oh no, he did it 50 minutes later. It's a bit like that. So your effort and time and effort is not being rewarded the way it should have, and it's. People say, you know, it might not always happen that way. No, if you put enough effort in, you will reach your potential in the games of chess. You will reach it. You might not win every game, but it'll level itself out with people making mistakes on your behalf too. So, what can we do about this sort of cheating in chess? Well, I actually propose that perhaps, just perhaps, that there should be a suspension of the player, depending on circumstances. Let me cover the circumstances first. If somebody is 5 years old, right, and you discover that they're using a mobile phone or something to, you know, determine like a little game on a mobile phone or whatever to determine the next move, it might not be the best thing to you know, ban them for life or whatever and kick them out of the tournament. It might not be the best thing. Maybe there should be some type of penalty for it, but you don't really want to. I mean, even being discovered to be cheating at that age would be so frightening for those individuals that the penalty doesn't have to be so harsh. In fact, they're probably only done it once or twice anyway, so you wouldn't really want to go too far on that. Perhaps if they kept on doing it, you could actually just you know, make them forfeit a game, so they lose a game, and if they keep on doing it after that, then you can actually, you know, tell the parents and remove them from the Congress. But you wouldn't want to do it straight away with a very young player, for many reasons, because, you know, some parents are very pushy and they might be forcing the kid into doing that as well, so you never know what's going on. So circumstances are a must in this sort of instance. But let's say if it's somebody about my age, right, a cheeky little bugger my age, right, who's about 90 odd or something. So say somebody of a mature age, right, mature like me. What would you want to do with that person? I believe that if somebody's discovered in such a way cheating in a clever way, that they should be immediately banned from the tournament. Alright, so they're removed from the tournament. But I think there should also be some criminal charges against that person. I think they should be made to pay compensation to every player they cheated against in the Congress. And if they're caught cheating, that means every player they played against in that tournament. Alright, no exceptions. They've obviously cheated their way up, so they're cheated in some means. And when I say they need to give compensation, I don't care if that player is a beginner, if that player is a child or whatever. I don't give a damn how old that person is or the level. They could be minus 1 ELO for like if the guy has cheated against that player. We've got to take in consideration that there's been hotel fees paid for this player. There's often be travel expenses and entering into the tournament itself, right? So there has to be some sort of discussion to compensate these players in regards to that. And the person who's cheated should be compensating those players right up to the Grandmaster level. Everybody should be compensated for it. I also believe that that person should be banned for 5 years. I think it should be that brutal. Now, there's certain people out there who want to see these people hung and quartered and slaughtered and you know, sliced up and live executions or whatever. I don't want to go that far, but I do believe they should be made to pay compensation, and they should also be fined by the Congress themselves. So they should, every player nowadays should be made to sign a small form to agree that they discovered cheating, that they will be banned for 5 years, depending on their age, of course, and at the organiser's discretion. Obviously, when you're dealing with very young players, we've got to use some discretion, but if they are discovered, they're made to sign this form earlier on, and they are now legally obliged to actually pay the compensation, to be banned for 5 years, and that's a given anyway, even if you don't sign. And also that they will be sent to court if they don't. So we can sort of work our way around this. This will put a lot of people off, and we will end up having some people being very disappointed with the charges they have, and some players being rewarded for being cheated against. I also think that if they've cheated their way up, that all the games they played in the last rated year or the last rating season should be void. It should be removed. So nobody should be rated from the games they played against that opponent, because that opponent could well have been cheating against them. So their grade can't be pushed down because somebody has been cheating. And lastly, I want to say something here. I believe that people have a right to second chances. I don't think we should necessarily promote the fact that they're getting a second chance, but I think people should be given a second chance. So I think that's a given. Even murderers in prisons are given second chances and released. So why can't somebody who's been cheating in chess, or these people being robbing people blind as well? So I believe that people should be given second chances, but there are conditions for that, of course, too, that has to be resolved. I don't believe that somebody at 20 years old or 30 should be banned, and at 80 they're still banned from chess. I don't think that's actually fair. I think it's thinking that the person's the same person at 80 years old as they were when they're 20 or 30. I think that's a little bit too far. But if somebody's caught cheating again, I still don't think they should be banned for life. But the ban should last longer, like 10 years or something, until that person learns it's a bad idea to cheat. And eventually they will. But the likelihood that they left for 5 years or 10 years, they're not going to return anyway. Probably not until middle or old age. And by then they're probably not going to cheat anyway. So we've got to, be mature about this. I do believe that the punishment should be there. And I believe it's unfair on every other opponent, because it has this ripple effect where it fucks up the game, where it damages the game of chess for everybody, and where it puts off potential talent such as myself. No, it puts off potential talent, anybody of any age, wanting to put the time and effort to study the game and to play competitively. It puts them off, because they're going to end up with somebody who's cheating, who's going to push them back down again, and they don't deserve that. If you put a lot of time and effort in, you deserve some type of reward for that, and the reward is you play well. But how are you supposed to beat a computer that's aided with a human being as well? It's so easy for them to input strong moves and reject other moves that the computer might be making a mistake with. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. I'll see you later. Bye bye.